Deporte Fuerte Banorte.
10-yard penalty. Touchdown!
NFL.
Hi everyone from Deporte Fuerte Banorte. Today I have the honor to be with a true 49ers legend, a Super Bowl champion and a Hall of Famer, Bryant Young. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great. Well, you were here in 2005. How do you feel here in Mexico with the NFL fans and the passion that we have here?
You know, I'm happy to be back. One, I love the people, the culture, just the city. The food is incredible. But our fan base here is really big. And the first time I came in 2005, I was really surprised about how many of the fans were here and how it's grown over the years. They're into it. They love football. And I love coming over here and putting on the show.
Yeah, and from 2005 to now, they are huge. There are more NFL fans and, of course, 49ers fans.
Yes.
So, Brian, if there's a game that you can relive from your career, what would it be and why?
I would say just the one that stands out from the top of my head is the Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know, just in terms of all that has happened to make that happen, the sacrifice, the focus, just the commitment to just being on the same page as a team, and for that all to come to fruition and be able to play in the biggest game on stage, it's an incredible opportunity. And that game in the Super Bowl in Miami really stands out versus San Diego.
Yeah, and it was your first season, so I think that was amazing. Brian, what lessons from football do you still have throughout your life?
Wow, that's a really good question. Football has been a really big teacher of a lot of things in my life. We talk about wins and losses, but for me, it's always been the losses, the setbacks, overcoming adversity. That has really been the most profound way to learn something. So that they've been the biggest teacher of lessons, and so just learning how to kind of recalibrate after a setback, learning how to do things better after a loss, refocusing. Football has a way of humbling you and keeping you humble, and certainly, we have fun and we prepare ourselves to go out there and play on the biggest stage. But at the same time, you have to stay humble, because the game will humble you if you don't. And certainly, I've learned a lot through, overcoming injury, through the losses. There've been some really good lessons learned.
Yeah, I bet. Well, people always talk about your leadership. So how do you define a leadership inside an NFL team?
The leaders have to be willing to not just delegate, but be able to do what you're asking other people to do. Be able to say the hard thing, sometimes, and the most unpopular thing. Sometimes it's hard to put yourself in a position where something needs to be said, and it's not like you're separating yourself from that, but it's something you're saying that you're still part of, and it pertains to you, and that needs to be said to the team. Leaders have that type of quality, and not afraid to go out on a limb and be uncommon, and do the things that you're asking your teammates or people that you're leading to do. Not thinking that it's too big, that is bigger than you, and the leadership to me is also, being humble, leading with humility. And the biggest thing, leadership is it's servanthood, being a servant, and how you can best put your team in a position to win. And how can you, as a leader, serve your team or your teammates or whatever your organization you're leading? How can you serve them the best way you possibly can so that they can thrive?
Yeah, I bet. And it's also difficult because you have like rookies and veterans, so you have to learn to speak to everyone.
That's right.
Yeah, well, talking about adversity, we know that you got through a terrible injury that was really scary. But how was it, and how could you deal with that? And how was it that you was called later NFL Comeback Player of the Year?
Yeah, talk about lessons learned through wins and losses and setbacks. This is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, just having an injury in my fifth year, thinking that I would never be able to come back. I knew it was going to take a lot to overcome and rehab and get back on the field. That injury really tested my love for the game. I thought I love football. I love being in the locker room and just the process of going through something hard and seeing something beautiful come out of it. It really tested my love for the game and how much I wanted it, what I was willing to do to come back and put myself in a position to get back on the field. It was extremely hard. It tested me in so many different ways. My patience, just my resolve, and just being resilient. And and also taught me how to really appreciate things too, and not take it for granted. Not that I took everything for granted, but just realizing how precious it is. We're all, and when you play the game, you're all one injury away from it being over.
Yeah.
And so I definitely appreciated that, just having that and being able to come back and then working to play, 9 years after that. But it was a really tough road back. There were days where I thought that it wasn't getting better, but I would, grab onto the little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and a little bit of hope, and just basically grabbed onto that, held on to that, and remained hopeful.
Yeah, well, that was amazing, all your journey, all the things that you experienced. And well, it ended with a very beautiful thing that you were inducted with in the Hall of Fame. What was it that for you?
Yeah, that was being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I always thought of myself as a certain player and what I brought to the team and how much work I put forth. But here's an award or an accolade that the process is so much different, and you play the game and you're not sure how much of your body of work deserves to be recognized in that way. But when I finally got voted in, I was really excited. I think about all the people that were a part of my journey. No one person gets there alone. I know it's the one person in the Hall of Fame, but for me, it was, I was so grateful because of all the people that had been a part of that journey, my coaches, teachers, parents, my family, and just in the organization, just allowing me to be the best that I can. My teammates, if it wasn't for my teammates doing their job, I wouldn't be able to do my job. Mm-hmm. And so it was a cool way to be able to earn that accolade and also be a representative of a lot of people that were part of my village.
Great. Yeah, I bet so. And can you tell us, how did you celebrate with your family? What did you eat? What do you have?
Yeah, we're simple. I love the grill. I love getting out and cooking steaks, smoking meat, brisket or ribs. Steak is my favorite on the grill. And, we have a big family. I have 6 kids, 5 currently on earth, but when we get together, we love to have fun, whether it's around a meal, or just, enjoying each other's company. And, we're simple. We watch movies together. We celebrate each other, through sports. If our kids are playing sports, we're there trying to support and encourage and be there for them. So that's pretty much it.
I love brisket.
Yeah.
And here in Mexico, I haven't found like a very good place where I can have a good brisket. So
okay.
I'll have to go visit you to have some. Well, when you watch today's 49ers defense, how do you compare with the era that you played? Because right now it's really different. There's a lot of rules that are against the defenders. So how do you compare this defense around the world?
Yeah, one, the philosophy, the personnel has changed a lot in terms of what you're facing on defense. Back in my days and before, there's a lot of two-back offense, 21 personnel, where you have a fullback and a tailback and a tight end, and it was pretty much a different type of offensive scheme. Or now you have the quarterback who is under the gun, under the center before he's in the shotgun position. So you get a lot of spread type formations and not so much of the two-back look, but you are getting more 11 personnel. That's one back and one tight end. And you're getting 3 wide receivers most of the snaps. So a lot of 11 personnel, some 12 personnel with 2 tight ends in the game and one back. From that standpoint, there's a lot of shifts that are happening. The communication is so different. And I think how defenses are disguising their coverages now is so much different. Just exotic looks in the backfield with how the defensive players are really just trying to hold their disguise and make it look like something different. And the game has evolved just in terms of, the philosophy of how you call plays and how you get to certain things. It could be the same play, but it's a different look, and the concept is still the same.
Yeah, I love defense. I mean, if I were an NFL player, I would love to play in the defense like a cornerback or safety, maybe.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think too the players are so much bigger too. Yeah, just the way aside from the game itself, how guys train today and develop their body, their skill is so much different now than it was back in the day. And you just have, guys that are doing more specialized training at different places. And I think the game is more, it's sped up in that way. You have more physical play because of how guys are training too.
Yeah, I get so. So, Brian, in all your years in NFL, I bet you have a lot of stories in the locker room or in traveling or at practice. Is there a story that no one's know that you want to talk about us?
Yeah, there was one. I think people know about this story. When I was a rookie,
okay,
and so this was like tradition. All the rookies were supposed to buy like breakfast. We call it breakfast buddies. So really, it was like McDonald's or Burger King breakfast sandwiches. And so this one particular day, I had already been late, and so I couldn't get to Burger King this particular day to go get breakfast sandwiches. And in my defensive room, or defensive line room, was kind of a veteran group. I had Richard Dent, Ricky Jackson, Tim Harris, Dennis Brown.
Oh, wow.
Dana Stubblefield was in his, I think, second year. And then Charles Mann also, who's a vet who played a number of years. And they had warned me. They said, hey, the next time you don't bring breakfast sandwiches in the morning, are you going in the pool?
Oh, my God.
And so this one particular day, I woke up, and if I would have stopped, I would have been late, and I would have got fined. So I was like, I'm not getting fined. I'm not going to be late. And so I went to work. Richard Dent said, hey, Rook, where's the breakfast sandwiches? I was like, I don't have it. If I would have stopped, I would have been late. And so the whole defensive line group proceeded to pick me up and drag me out of the defensive line room. And we had an indoor pool at the time. And we had about maybe 9 or 10 defensive linemen in that room. So all 9 or 10 guys got up and tried to pull me and drag me and lift me up and carry me to the pool to throw me in. Uh-huh. And so I could tell you, it was a fight. I fought, I scratched, I clawed. And right when we got to the door where the pool was, I grabbed like the door kind of frame and just we were stuck at a stalemate. And I'll just say that they did not get me in.
Oh,
I also
wow.
think that I gained a whole nother level of respect.
Yeah, I bet so.
Because they realized, like, this young kid is probably a little stronger than we thought. Yeah.
I mean, with 10 defensive linemen and they didn't get you in the pool, you were really, really strong. Yeah. Well, Brian, if you could host a dinner at your house, but you could only invite 3 teammates, who would you invite?
Derek Deese, Jerry Rice, and Steve Young.
Oh, wow. And me.
Yes.
Okay. And what would you cook? Brisket, maybe?
Not brisket, because that would be like an all-night day before, babysitting the meat, making sure the temp's right. It would be something easy and quick. It would be steak on the grill. I would do New York or some prime rib, maybe cowboy steak on the green egg, along with grilled veggies and grilled pineapples as a dessert.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my like go-to thing. Like when I have people over, simple but good, yeah, just have a great time eating a meal with people that I love.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Jai, Steve Young, Bryant Young, everyone there, it would be amazing. I don't know about the cowboy steak, but
Well, yeah, the cowboy steak, yeah. Well, it's getting grilled too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Cowboy steak.
It's gonna be grilled, so maybe that would be fun. Okay,
Grilling
well,
the Cowboys.
yeah, that's true. Brian, as I said, there's a lot of Niners fans here in Mexico. They're very happy to be here to listening to you. What would you say to them?
Vamos 49ers. And I want to say I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are very loyal. You're faithful. And I appreciate your energy. I appreciate you welcoming me into your country. I love coming here. And I'm excited to see as many of you as I possibly can.
Thank you very much, Brian, for this interview. And we're very happy to be here with you, with all our friends from Deporte Fuerte Banorte. And I hope that we have you here again sometime.
Yes, thank you very much.
El deporte se vive, se siente y se escucha en Deporte Fuerte Banorte.